Hello everybody and welcome back to the channel. And if you're new here, we talk about all things fandom on this channel and we talk about them in a positive way. If that's something that appeals to you, you know you've come to the right place and we're so happy to have you here. On this Throwback Thursday where Thanksgiving Day is almost upon us, I thought we would kind of give you a couple recommendations of some Thanksgiving movies that you could be watching this year. Everything from the silly to the horror to just the plain old traditional Thanksgiving. So let's jump right into it. All right, so first up on our list of Thanksgiving movies that I think you should watch, we'll go with a bit more of a traditionalist one. A good old-fashioned feel-good movie. This movie is available on Tubi and it is called Our Father's Keeper. So if you are looking for a nice feel-good movie this year, you could do a lot worse than this little movie. The movie was from 2020 and it focuses on a man who's becoming a little bit senile. He's having some problems and he befriends this homeless girl that he then brings home. And his family kind of has to deal with everything that he's done. And it's a really nice little movie, actually. You could do a lot worse than this movie, so I highly recommend this one. If you're looking for a nice, feel-good, traditional one that's not too sad and not too sappy, although it is kind of a made-for-TV type of movie, so it might be a bit slow in parts. But definitely worth checking out if you have family over that doesn't like all the silliness and horror stuff. They might actually enjoy this movie a lot. Moving on, we have Body Count. Body Count is an older movie. It's in fact from 1998. And it stars Alyssa Milano and Ice-T. There's a combination for you. And it focuses on a family that's meeting up for Thanksgiving, and these killers come into the house. Now, things quickly escalate, and they don't know where everybody is. And I don't want to give you too many details on this movie because I do think it's a fun little movie. It's not that this movie hasn't been done since and hasn't been done before this as well. You've probably seen very similar plots to this movie jump up from time to time. However, I think it's really well executed. Ice-T is pretty amazing in the movie, and Alyssa Milano does a pretty good job too. If you're a child of the 80s, you should definitely check this out because Alyssa Milano will give you all those Who's the Boss vibes. Now, I should also note that this movie has another title. It's called Below Utopia, which it ran in some parts of the country and I guess other countries as Below Utopia. I think the reason for this was also in 1998, there was another movie called Body Count. So if you're looking for this movie, make sure to look for the Alyssa Milano version, or to actually look for the Ice-T version, both of them being the same. Now, this movie is available right now on Tubi, so you can definitely watch it there. If you're in the mood for something that is kind of a little bit more action-packed with some 80s vibes, some 80s nostalgia, you could do worse than this movie. So if you have family that don't mind a bit of low-budget, raunchy horror spoof fun, you could do a lot worse than the movie Thanksgiving. It is completely silly and off the wall, and it is a 2008 horror movie in which a turkey is the slasher. And this is basically a low-budget looking turkey walking around killing people. And it's every bit as dumb and yet somehow at moments funny as it sounds. I don't think that this movie's for everyone, so if you don't like it and you take the chance on it, don't come blaming me. This is one of those movies that's so bad, it might actually be good types of movies. And it depends on the crowd that you have in your house as to whether this movie would be something to give a chance to. But if you do like it, it spawned a sequel called Thanksgiving 3. Now, the joke in Thanksgiving 3 is that there is no Thanksgiving 2. It jumps right from Thanksgiving to Thanksgiving 3, with him actually, the killer turkey, hunting down every copy of Thanksgiving 2. And that plot don't last very long, as it just goes completely bonkers from there, with a puppet that makes friends with some guy, and they have to fight the killer turkey. So, you know, it's even more insane and even more stupid than the first movie. But if you like the first movie, you might find something charming about the second one as well. If not, you have been warned. The movie is low budget, completely horrible little spoof that is not for everyone. In fact, I only watched this movie because of the complete lack of Thanksgiving movies out there. Now, I know there are a lot of movies that take place at Thanksgiving, which actually brings us to another Thanksgiving movie that I think gets lost in the shuffle. A nice little comedy called Son-in-Law with Pauly Shore. Now, that movie is kind of another one that really is a bit on the comical side. It's not an outright Thanksgiving movie, but it definitely has a lot to do with it. Son-in-Law is a 1993 film that involves a college student who brings her boyfriend home over the Thanksgiving break. And her boyfriend, of course, is Pauly Shore. And if you don't know who Pauly Shore is, this is one of the perfect movies to get started watching him to decide if his comedy is right for you. Pauly Shore is one of those people that made his claim to fame on MTV. And he isn't for everybody, but if you like Pauly Shore, you're really going to enjoy this movie. And if you haven't seen Son-in-Law, you could do a lot worse than this little comedy. It's charming and funny, and it stars Tiffany Amber Thiessen in addition to Pauly Shore. It really is a charming little movie. And like I said, you could do a lot worse than this movie at your Thanksgiving table. It definitely will supply a few laughs among the crowd and could be a complete win for you. Now, going back into the horror genre of things, there's a little movie that came out called Pelgrim. And Pelgrim is a 2019 film that's available on Hulu. It was kind of a Hulu original, and it's not a bad film. It focuses on a little bit of a dysfunctional family as they're kind of migrating into getting, you know, more well-adjusted, if you will. The daughter doesn't like the new stepmom and really doesn't want to spend Thanksgiving there with them. The younger son is kind of just, you know, a really sweet kid overall. And the movie really picks up because the mom, in an effort to win everybody over, the stepmom decides that she's going to invite this group of people who dress up as actual pilgrims and recreate the first Thanksgiving. Well, things go completely awry as these turn out to not quite be what she had in mind. And what ensues is a really gory, disturbing film that I think a lot of people will enjoy. If you like some of the horror movies that have come out in the past couple years, give this one a try. You could do worse if you're looking for horror this Thanksgiving. Last, we have the movie Planes, Trains, and Automobiles that finds Steve Martin trying to make it home when he is kind of interrupted by John Candy, who kind of implants himself into his life and makes the journey completely impossible. This movie is great because all Steve Martin wants to do is get home in time for Thanksgiving dinner, and the comedy road trip could not be better. The chemistry between these two is amazing, and the late, great John Candy is brilliant in this movie. So this movie's become a staple in my household to watch every year, and I highly recommend it to everyone out there. If you like a good comedy movie, you're bound to get a lot of laughs out of this one. But I want to know what you guys think. Do you have any movies that you watch every year? Thanksgiving time is upon us, and with so few Thanksgiving movies out there, I mean, granted, as I've said, there are tons and tons that take place around Thanksgiving, but there are only a few options that you can legitimately say are outright Thanksgiving movies, and I've kind of listed a few here. Now, go ahead and let me know in the comments if there's any that you watch that you think I should add to the list, because we want to hear from you. So comment, like, and share, because all of those things are important to our channel. And then don't forget to hit that subscribe button, because Miko says we need more subscribers and it's Thanksgiving. So go ahead and hit that subscribe button. You don't want to disappoint Miko. And at the end of the day, friends, fandom is family.